Welcome. My name is Per Schoffers and I'm the founder and CEO of Atenga. And I'm here to talk about price optimization. With optimized prices and the process necessary for price optimization, companies can fight commoditization, downward pricing pressure, and increase both sales and profits. This presentation summarizes what we learned from making several hundred price optimization projects in all different industries. I will use a number of case studies in this presentation, and it is possible but unlikely that they will be in your exact industry. So please therefore think, how should this apply to me? What can I learn? What is important in my circumstance? In the first two parts, I spoke about the reasons for commoditization and loss of pricing power. In the third part, about how a deep dive into value perception and decision landscape of the marketplace provide the information companies need to remedy commoditization and regain pricing power. In the fourth part, we talked about the psychology of pricing. And in the fifth part, I covered the methods used to discover willingness to pay, decision drivers, and value drivers with the amount of detail and clarity you need. But there's one more thing, and that's data mining. In data mining, as part of price optimization, you'll be looking at correlations between profits and all different variables such as services, salesperson, sales territory, order size, maybe even size of customers, what industry they're in, how quick they pay, and anything else that could be relevant. Typically, 30 to 40 variables are investigated, and typically 5 or 6 really makes a difference. And these are some things you may want to look at, but there could be others. And every company, of course, will be different. And when you apply regression analysis to this data, what you will find is that most of your data will cluster together, but there will be outliers. Some of these outliers are better for your company, some are worse for your company. And once you've identified those outliers, you need to start asking questions. What can we learn from the most profitable outliers? What can we apply to the least profitable outliers? So data mining doesn't give you answers, but data mining provides questions, many questions that you can and need to ask. And questions, when answered, will help you find ways to increase sales and profitability. And important in data mining is the fix and fire concept. If you think you can't fix an outlier, you need to think and ask yourself, if this is an outlier customer, should we stop doing business with them? Should we fire them? If it's a product, are the products strategic? And should we continue to sell it or fire it? Or in either case, are there ways they could be fixed? So I will focus here on a case study, a company that sells small appliances. Here we look at contribution margin by customer. And you will see that we have a cluster of customers with small volumes but reasonable contribution margin. But you also see there are outliers, and those outliers are the interesting one. Some customers with low sales volume and margin lower than the goal. As these outliers are investigated, there may be a legit reason for them to be both low volume and low margins. Maybe they're strategic. Maybe they're just new. Or maybe they're not. Maybe then they should be fired. Some customers do good volume but have low contribution margin. This needs to be fixed. Here it's Kitchen Collection and Best Buy. The company needs to find out why the margin is low, and in this case it was found that the customers were primarily buying low margin product. And it was also found that the salesperson were not successful in convincing the customers to changing the product mix. With a new salesperson in place, and a program in place to change the product mix was developed. And margins and sales volume increased as follows. It took the company about 9 months to rectify the situation, but it was well worth it. Then you'll see we have a couple of companies here above the target margin line. These companies do good margin, but not their potential volume. So again, the data here enables the company to ask questions, why? And once the answer is found, the company were able to rectify the situation. In this case, new point of sales material was developed, and the company together with the retailer joined forces in special advertising and coupons. The result was the following. So the lesson to learn here is that the data about your own company and your own customers can drive questions that in turn makes a significant profitability difference for the company. And I will continue this. Another example is to look at this based on products. As you can see, some products here have low margin and lousy sales. And then the question is, are they strategic? Do they drive sales of other product? Do we need to have them in our line for completeness sake? Or if not, do you want to fire them? Then there's some product with low margin but okay sales. The question then is, how can we put specific plans in place to increase sales volume? Like this. And in this chart, you see the vast difference in revenue and contribution margin between different manufacturers' reps. Some reps generate a much lower revenues than others. The issue again becomes to find out why. Do they really care about your company? Do they have other lines they push? Do they need more training? And so forth. The action that comes from this shot is to make a plan for each rep on how to increase margin or revenue or both. And you'll see the same for salespersons. Okay? Why is Mary here selling at such a low margin? Can it be fixed with training or coaching? Is she new to the company and this can be expected? Or with more or better management help? And what could be learned from Jill? What specific skills and experience does he have that can help other salespeople? And we can look at contribution margin by sales channel. The website has great margin but poor sales. Find out why. What programs can be developed to promote the website? Better SEO, more online advertising, whatever. International sales are both low margin and low in revenue. Questions then to ask may be, is there a market for the product internationally? Is the international market just developing? Is there more competition? Are there better channels? Should they be dropped? Can it be fixed? And sales in online stores are good, but margin is low. Can sales renegotiate prices? Can the product mix be changed to higher margin products, etc.? Then I want to look at discounts for products. You need to investigate the ones with the highest discounts and make sure it's justified. Figure out plans to reduce discounting. Maybe these products are sold by certain reps or certain people. Maybe they're sold through certain channels. Maybe these are simply priced too high. Or maybe these are lost leaders. Questions to ask, answers to get. And by territory, you may want to evaluate why Mississippi is so low. Is it the salesperson or the sales rep? Is it a new territory? Is competition more severe? Do a cost-benefit analysis to discover if you should stop doing business there or not. And West Virginia, why so sales are low and margins so high? Do they sell only select product, or is it the sales channel? And what can you learn from Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Illinois? And how can you apply that to Massachusetts? So, in this case, the company, like every other, had limited resources. They evaluated where they would get the most bang for the bucks and where they thought changes were most easier to implement. So they decided to focus on a few customers and a few products, skipping for the moment salespeople, sales reps, and sales channel. The plan that came out from this data included a better process and control for discounts. They developed detailed plans to increase margins, and they trained salespeople and reps to defend prices and sell value. And the focus enabled them to execute well. Contribution margin on fixed items increased from 3.6 million to 5.3, and overall profits went up from 2.9 to 4.6 million, again on these fixed items. But this is a wrap of this 6-part series. So let me summarize what we learned. We learned that there is no silver bullet. Price optimization is process and execution. We learned that companies who focus on price optimization are twice as profitable and they grow twice the rate of peer companies. And as managers, our role is to fight commoditization and not give up. There are always ways to differentiate your business and earn higher prices. And you cannot trust what you hear from customers. It will not be completely wrong, but it will not be completely right either. And because we're all humans, we react to prices in predictable, measurable ways. This needs to be measured and it needs to be leveraged. And the solution to gain a better, detailed, and more true understanding of the marketplace is price-specific, anonymously conducted third-party research. And finally, data mining discovers where your profit leaks out. So, what will you do? It's been a pleasure for me to present this series. I hope you enjoyed listening to me as much as I enjoyed making this series. Thank you very much.